This job's a mess. Finally got it dug out. The previous contractor that did this, like I said before, didn't do it right. This is definitely not how you're supposed to do a septic, but we're getting it straightened out. I got all the crappy stuff dug. I still got some water here. Talked to the engineer. They said it might be groundwater, it might be from the old system, so we're gonna wait to see if it drains down. But we're bringing this up 2 feet with sand anyways, so it'll be above the groundwater. We do have a drain there that we have to terminate so that the water doesn't keep draining into here, if that's the case. Back there's a mess because I was ripping out the old field. It went further than the new field, so we'll get the new sand in here, box this in better, and we'll be able to square this off and kind of hold this bank back a little better, as well as that end. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna figure out the inspection portion of the engineer by this weekend, and then we're bringing in sand and gonna try to get this a little more tight next week and start building the field. So that's it. This is Friday, so ending the week off like this. It is a mess. There's nowhere to put material. I got it up there stacked up. I was pushing it back with the skid steer, but there's a property line there I can't go over. It's real tight, so it looks like crap right now, but just the way it is sometimes, you know. It's not going to be pretty, it's going to be messy, but as long as the job gets done, that's all I care about. So yeah, this is our existing grade right here, so it'll be probably 3 feet, 2.5 feet, something like that in here with sand. We got some nice stuff right here, which isn't bad. That stuff back there is concerning. Dug a lot of that out. I did this in 2 phases. Dug it out and then got the mucky stuff out just so it could drain down. But yeah, this is and then right here is the existing 2-inch line. The D-box was in a weird spot, not where I remember it, but this is where the new one's gonna go. Probably maybe even more this way. Probably have to 90 it or sweep it or something, and then boom, 3 lines going in this way, 40 feet, and then 5 feet this way. The engineer said we could probably shorten it up this way, either nothing or 2 feet, but this hill's a problem here. This is all just washing out.
or is eroding out every time I dig it out. So just gonna have to do the best we can and kind of do it on the fly. But that's it, and for this week, and we will see you guys next week. What's going on, you guys? Coming at you after the weekend here. Had a good weekend. Hope you guys did too. It's nice to get some R&R. Didn't really work this weekend, which is a change. Looked at some jobs, did some quotes, edited some videos for you guys, and that's pretty much it. I did meet with the engineer for that septic job we're on. Check out the bottom pit for the system before we bring in our system sand. In Massachusetts, it's pretty common practice for either the town or engineer or both. In most instances around here, it's usually both, to come out and do a bottom pit inspection or subsoil inspection, whatever you want to call it, prior to putting in your system sand, just to verify soil conditions and that you're putting it in the correct layer of soil. That way you're not putting it in a non-permeable layer or a crappy bottom where the system's not going to drain. So we did that. You could tell the system was starving for oxygen, and it was restricting the oxygen flow in there, and it just caused that whole thing to go into failure. And those infiltrators prematurely fail anyway, so that definitely did not help. I saw there was a fox right there. But yeah, so that's what we got going on today. I'm trying to do more of like kind of be in front of the camera a little bit more. I know the last few videos I put out just kind of been like working job site videos, but I've always kind of intended it being like a day in the life vlog sort of like videos where, you know, it's kind of like Victory Outdoor Services or like that John Seaman guy, where I think that's his name, where they show everyday stuff as well as, you know, jobs they're working on. So I'm trying to do more of that. So I figured in the mornings here we'll kind of have a little talk, go to the job site, talk on the job site as well as working, and kind of do that. So that's kind of why there's a change all of a sudden in the videos. Hey guys, so we're at the shop here. Oh jeez, bush had prickers in it. Figured kind of show you guys and explain a little bit more of what's going on that job with some infiltrators I have in my yard here. So I'll show you in a bit here. This is an infiltrator. These are the quick fours. So there's a few different kinds, but the main ones are the ARC 36s and the quick fours. There's like low profile ones and whatnot, but we're not gonna get into that. I'm not sure what that system is over there. I'm pretty sure it's the quick fours like these. So they're dome shaped, as you can see. Domed like this. They call them dog houses, infiltrators, a bunch of different names for them. But this is what was in there before. So you lay them down like this, and then they connect into each other. So you can obviously this is stacked up, but you put another one behind it, and then this clicks into that over there. They click together, and then you lay them out however many by however many. These systems have known to prematurely fail. A lot of engineers actually won't even design these, but I've installed them. I install them. Some installers don't, some do. They have to be done right. They're kind of changing a lot of ways they design these nowadays, but essentially what had happened on that job site was they laid them down like this, obviously, and they didn't put any system sand underneath it. They put these right on the natural soil, which is a huge no-no, and it was actually not really that deep, and was in a lot of that groundwater that was there too. I don't know if you guys could see that at all, but there's actually a drain going along that hill there that's been dumping into that hole, but it also seems like that's kind of where the water table is at too. I told the engineer we're going to raise it up 2 feet. He was okay with that. In Mass, there's actually a 4-foot separation. You can get a 2-foot reduction approved, a local upgrade approval, and get a little closer to that. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, get 2 feet out of the groundwater. That'll hopefully keep that system nice and dry, high and dry, and help it drain a little bit better. But yeah, that guy that installed it before put it right in that water that's draining into the field there now, and didn't put any sand underneath it, so it had no way to drain. With crappy non-drainable soils, you can imagine there's nowhere for the wastewater to go. It just held there and junked up the whole system. And then when he backfilled with the crappy soil too. He didn't use any sand or anything. There's a lot of different preferences on how to backfill. You can backfill with the natural soil. I've done them that way. I don't do them that way anymore because if you can see here, they have these gills in them, and those gills is what helps that system breathe. And when you put down a natural soil like that, or really even sand, it plugs up those gills, chokes out the whole system, and it can't breathe. Especially if you don't do filter fabric. A lot of guys back in the day would just throw soil or sand right on top of that and be done with it. And a lot of times the silt gets in that, and it just restricts it all. What I do is I backfill with 3/4 stone all the way to the top, and then do my normal backfill. You can put filter fabric there and then do stone, or do stone then filter fabric, but I always filter fabric either way, or you can do double, but I've heard that's a little restrictive, which I tend to agree with that. So normally I'll just do stone and then fabric over that, and then my normal backfill, and that seems to be working real well. I've had one system that they've put this geogrid underneath it, which was a real pain, because trying to get these level on the geogrid was a pain in the ass. But they've done that too, put the sand down, geogrid, and then the infiltrator. But that's to help with the settling, so that way when the sand settles, the geogrid locks down and these don't settle. Because I know a lot of people say these settle and you're supposed to have them level, and they get all unlevel and they drain incorrectly and stuff. So I've done it before. I've heard that help. A lot of guys will run a compactor over it. I don't do that. I think just with a track machine, driving back and forth with it compacts it enough. And I don't see the system settling that much where you need to compact it and worry about the infiltrators settling that much. If you do it right, you should have very little to no settling. So that's just my 2 cents and kind of what's going on there. But yeah, I was really surprised to see that that guy didn't bring in any sand. You know, unfortunately, the homeowner got scammed by that first guy, but we're doing it right now, and he appreciates that, and which is why he doesn't mind the change order to bring in more sand and do it the right way. So that's what's just going on. And the funny thing is too, bug in my eye. The funny thing is too is that the engineer that's doing the plans now didn't back then. He's like, I told that guy to put in sand or stone or something, and I'm like, nope, he didn't do any of that. It's right on this purpley crappy soil. The back was a little bit more sandier, but still, I would have brought in sand to kick that up. So we're actually doing a pipe and stone system there. The homeowner didn't want infiltrator, which I don't disagree with him there. I totally agree with that. We're doing pipe and stone, so that should help. Pipe is 4 inches versus the domes, which is, I think, a foot, maybe 8 inches or something like that. So we'll be able to get just that much more out of the groundwater, and get more into the better draining stuff, and have a little bit more separation there, like I said, for space for it to drain. So yeah, and little update in our birds here. Oh, the egg. Oh no, eggs are still in there. I don't think Mama found them. I did find an egg over there last week or 2 weeks ago, so I don't know if something got into them, but it doesn't seem like Mama came back, so that might be unfortunately a loss, but we'll have to see. Give it some more time. The eggs are still there, but I don't know how long bird eggs take to hatch. But yeah, anyways, we'll see you guys at the job site. Forward. Whatever. this is how the leach field weathered over the weekend here. There's a bunch of water down there, which is where that engineer wants me to flatten it out. So I'm going to bring in some sand, make a ramp here, and then grab some of this stuff and just throw it over there. That's what he wants, so that's what he's going to get. Got our laser on the side of a hill there. That's my pain. All this, it's tight in here. These rocks wash out. Got our first load of sand delivered, so we'll get that spread. It's tight in here, but a little bit of moving some material around this morning, and hopefully we'll be able to crank this out. Alright guys, so we're hauling in sand I off camera got in here and scraped this out. I scraped it from there to here. It just, yeah, it didn't help any, obviously, because it's still got water in here, but it's not that much water. It's only a couple inches, like you can see right there. It's just the top of the grade right there, so it's only, I don't know, a couple, like an inch. So not worth pumping out, but put the sand over it, it'll drain down at some point. But hauling in sand here. It's a tight squeeze between everything. This job got real tight real quick, so. But we got the Mini in the driveway, which helps get that out of the way. Tough spot to dump too. Get some trees there and up the hill, but we're getting it done. Oh man. But yeah, we'll keep plugging away here. One thing I forgot to mention is, I don't know if you see that orange line right there on the bank, but that's where we're bringing our sand to. So you can see that's going to be the bottom of our pipe is going to be basically at the bottom of that orange. So we're going to be plenty out of this water. Like I said, I don't think it's groundwater. We had a lot of rain. It's a lot of rainwater, and we'll clean up this edge as we go too. You know, that contamination out of there. But yeah, so we'll have plenty of distance between that water area, shitty soil, to where our pipe is. So we're gonna have about, I think it was 27 inches of sand underneath it. So we'll be good. Yeah, throw that out there. All right, keep trucking in sand. I think we got definitely got another one on the way, and I think we got probably 2 or 3 more after that we're gonna have to bring in, and then our 1.5-inch stone for the field. I'll more often than not, I'll have extra sand that I'll haul in just to have a little bit to play with, especially with a 5-foot over dig on this side and that side. It's always good to have some to fill in the edges as we go and build the field. That way the top of sand is level with our pipe and our stone. So yep, keep plugging away, and we'll start working on this leach. We'll get it done. Pipe should be coming in sometime today with our 40 mil barrier, so we should be able to transition right from this to building the field, to try to keep this moving here. We got tons of projects going on, so I'm trying to keep everything moving as efficiently as possible. So, but all right, see you guys in a bit. Comes our sand. You guys gotta check out this truck. This truck's clean. so that's it for the sand. Got everything in at our elevation. We got this pile here, that's for our 5 foot around. It's about one load. Usually we go through about one load doing the 5 foot around, so that's what that is. Anything left over get used for backfill. This road actually held up pretty good, this one I got here, and then drop our stone there tomorrow. Figure better off having a little bit extra sand than having to need some after, because once the stone's in, it's pretty tricky to get anything more in here. So because you're blocked in by the stone, that doesn't usually get eaten up till last. We kept this in here just so when they dump the stone kind of hits that instead of going over the edge. And this makes it easier to clean up. Rather than having stone down there, you can clean up the sand easier, and the stone backs up against the sand, and that way you can kind of use all the stone you got instead of chasing it down the hill and stuff. So just leave that there for that. But yeah, that's it. It's about shoot, my phone's even still on. It's almost dead. It's 4:30. The gravel bank closes at 3:30, so yeah, nothing we can do here till tomorrow. We got our pipe in and stuff. It's all down there. Truck came earlier today, but yeah, we need our 1.5 inch stone that's coming in the morning, so nothing we can do till then. So head home, do some estimates, and do some stuff for some more jobs here. So we will see you guys tomorrow.